Hello, everyone. My name is Diana Rivas, and I would like to share with you the following topic, which is discourse analysis and semantics. Our contents would be semantics definition, principles, discourse coherence and local meaning, macrostructures, semantic strategies, and conclusions. According to Bandig, 1977, in the most general sense, semantics is a component theory within a larger semiotic theory about meaningful symbolic behavior. Therefore, we have not only a semantics of a natural language utterances or acts, but also of non-verbal or paraverbal behavior, such as gestures, pictures and films, logical systems or computer languages, sign languages, and perhaps social interaction in general. In this sense, we will focus on the semantics of natural language utterances and discourses and their component elements, such as words, phrases, clauses, sentences, and paragraphs, and other units of discourse. Therefore, the most important objective of semantics is to interpret discourse, and interpretation is a mental act, a cognitive process of language users, which are all of us. After the process of interpretation, we then create a conceptual representation of a discourse in our memory. According to Vandergrade 1980, these representations we create are not only necessarily linked to conventional meaning or to lexicon of a language, but to our own knowledge of the word um, that is represented in the world, in society, in previous experiences, and all of those help us to establish opinions and beliefs, and subsequently, all of those become models to keep interpreting future discourses. Because of that, the art of analyzing discourse through semantics involves a variety of elements to take into account, and the principles of semantics constitute an important feature to first analyze. And those are functionality. According to the same previously mentioned author, he defines functionality as the meaning of discourse expressions, which is a function of the meaning of their component expressions. So, accordingly, the meaning of a sentence must be calculated by the meaning of the words that are part of it. And we also have the structural principle, which states that the structures of expressions are interpreted as structures of meaning. It is in this sense that the initial role of semantics within discourse analysis is to do research about how these sequences of sentences of a discourse are related to sentences of meaning. But we cannot just describe discourse by studying meanings of words or phrases isolated and by analyzing lexic and the formal cohesion of discourse. Um, a crucial aspect of semantics in discourse to analyze is discourse coherence. And as stated by Osman 1978, these courses usually consist of sequences of sentences that express sequences of propositions, and consequently, we need to understand how are the meanings of the sentence um, related to create the meaning of the whole sentence and to create this coherence, which can be defined as those links that exist between the test and the test receiver's ability to make sense of the word, according to Sutherland, 20 and 19. And how does the meaning of one sentence also depend on the meaning of a sequence as a whole? Therefore, it is related to organization. It is related to the order of the sequence, and this order also is abided by certain rules. One of those rules could be the general particular one. And for example, when we have these two sentences here, we could say, next year I'll go to Moscow. And then the second one, I'll stay with some good friends. It is in this sense that we notice how strange would it sound if we read the second sentence first. In that case, the discourse would be losing coherence, and it is important that to mention that rule or principle of coherence is the indication of the more general aspects uh, that must go first, and then after that we must indicate those more particular details. And additionally, the space order would also follow the same rule as this example indicates. We could say they have a nice apartment. It has four bedrooms. It would also be awkward to mention the bedrooms first and then the apartment. And the third one I would like to mention is the temporal and conditional relation between events or actions. This has to do with possibility, with probability, or conditions. For example, I took my mom to a restaurant. My mom ordered spaghetti. We first have the condition or the reason, and then we introduce an action or a consequence or a specification. If we change the order again, then it would make much sense, and the whole meaning of this course would be altered. And another major area of semantics consists of something called global coherence or macrostructures, which explain the properties of the meaning of larger fragments of a discourse, such as paragraphs as a whole, as suggested by Jones, 1997. And it explains what is more relevant in this course. It is related to the topic, for even though the first sentence of a paragraph may not be directly linked with the last one, they are all part of a global coherence. So these macrostructures also include macro rules as well, which help us to give global interpretation after um, interpreting short or local sentences as we did before. So these are like pieces of a greater puzzle. For example, with the sentence, 100 people died in a school shooting. How many times have we heard something similar in the news? This is a chosen hierarchy. It has to do with the goals of the participants, the beliefs, ideas, and opinions. And in this case, the news gives the most impactful information first, and then details come later in order to catch the audience attention. Additionally, there are semantic strategies that are also worthy to investigate, due to the fact that users of language not only follow general rules but also global and global coherence, but also at the same time we use plenty of strategies, good strategies, effective ones, when we use the language even daily. such as these ones, which are social and cognitive strategies. And some of the examples would be remain coherence. For example, when we say, oh, by the way, or speaking of which, we intend to keep the coherence of our discourse. When we deny, for example, we say, I don't hate him, but, and then displacement, for example, when we say, I don't care, but my neighbors do. Attribution, by saying, I don't see you trying to do something about it. We give that attribute to the other part, an attribute that we may be the ones having. And then denial of implications, which would be, but that doesn't mean they are less than we are. We're trying to what we are trying to do with all of these strategies is we're trying to indicate meaning, or we're trying to prevent possible inferences by the audience. So these are part of more general strategies in conversations and interactions, and as such we can only offer a dimension of analysis by using semantics. And but these need to be deeply analyzed better by other disciplines such as pragmatics, which is also a great matter of interest. And finally, semantic components as a conclusion, when applied, can improve our ability to communicate and understand meaning by analyzing the different combinations of elements underlying deep inside of the formal cohesion of a language that we so generally study. And when when we move to when we move our attention to a specific discourse, and we try to look further than just cohesion, than just lexic or grammar, we then notice how, as we previously saw, this analysis can take place from social contexts and interactions to global media that even subconsciously interact with us daily. And from a local meaning to a macro one, semantics offers powerful insight of human mind encapsulated in discourses. Here are the references. And thank you so much for listening. Waiting for all of your comments and questions with pleasure. Have a nice day.